Outraged by the other's words, Qing Er couldn't hold back her anger. Yue, stop talking nonsense. You jerk. I've finally found a man I truly like, finally had a chance to be in his embrace, and I barely got to enjoy his warmth before you came along and ruined it. A flash of frustration spread across Qing Er's face. Are you all right? Xiao Yin, ignoring the two troublemakers, gently set Qing Er down on the ground and asked, Yes, I'm fine. Qing Er nodded, standing tall and composed in front of the carriage. Humph. Qing Er, don't think we don't know. Your little secrets aren't as hidden as you think. Putting on a pitiful act, are we? Two figures stood 10 meters from Xiao Yan's carriage, both dressed in long robes with the character, "You," elegantly embroidered on their backs. The disdain on their faces was clear, and upon seeing Qing Er and Xiao Yin, one of them couldn't help but mock them. Who's this guy? Xiao Yin casually glanced at them as he carefully helped Qing Er down. The Yu family's second young master, about mid-one-star Docian in strength. The one speaking just now is his lackey, Qing Er replied, restraining her irritation. Although her anger simmered inside, she held back, knowing Yu Yi's strength was beyond Xiao Yan's. While Qing Er trusted Xiao Yan's power, she didn't want to stir up unnecessary trouble for him. Please step aside, Xiao Yan said coldly, pulling Qing Er along and moving toward the auction hall, passing the two troublemakers. If it weren't for the crowded setting of the auction's back courtyard, Xiao Yin might have already disposed of Yu Yi. However, as Yu Yi and his lackey met Xiao Yan's piercing gaze, they couldn't help but shudder. It was filled with an icy killing intent. Who could be so unlucky to get involved with the Qing family's young lady? I've heard she's afflicted with an incurable condition. Nothing but trouble if you ask me, the lackey continued with a smug look. If I had that condition, I'd avoid showing my face and stay far away, he said in all seriousness. If you're so eager to meet your end, I wouldn't mind helping, Xiao Yin snapped, his patience wearing thin. These two were clearly troublemakers from the Yu family. The strained relationship between the Yu and Qing families made such petty provocations all too common. Watch yourself, boy. Do you even know who you're speaking to? The lackey, visibly shaken by Xiao Yan's menacing glare, cast a quick glance at Yu Yi, who nodded. Emboldened, he sneered arrogantly. What's this? Isn't this auction house under the city lord's jurisdiction? Do the Yu family really think they can control everything here? Xiao Yin retorted with a smirk. You better watch it, brat, the lackey fumed, offended that Xiao Yin remained unfazed even after invoking the Yu family's name. A good dog knows when to step aside, Xiao Yin replied coolly, leading Qing Er toward the auction hall. Young master, that, the lackey muttered, eyeing Yu Yi for guidance as they watched the pair walk away. That man isn't to be underestimated. Though he's just an early one-star Docian, I felt a hint of danger from him, Yu Quan murmured, shaking his head. Let's go. We'll settle this once father's plan succeeds. Qing Er won't be able to escape my grasp, he added, casting a last glance at the auction hall before heading inside. Aren't you curious about what Yu Yi's lackey said just now? After leaving the auction courtyard, Qing Er looked at Xiao Yin with a trace of sincerity. Those two are just sour grapes. No need to pay them any mind, Xiao Yin chuckled, glancing around before gently letting go of her hand. Yu Yi, the second young master of the Yu family, once pursued me, but I rejected him. He's likely still holding a grudge, which explains all this trouble. Thank you for standing up for me, Qing Er said with a smile. About your condition. Xiao Yin hesitated. If you're willing, perhaps you could tell me more. I've studied medicinal herbs since I was young and know a bit about healing. It's nothing serious, Qing Er replied, smiling. Ice attribute, is it? Xiao Yin murmured as he nodded slowly, understanding well that this attribute issue was beyond his control. After a few quick instructions, he proceeded with Qing Er toward the auction venue. Sir, there's been some conflict in the rear courtyard between Yu clan's second young master Yu Yi and the Qing clan's eldest lady. Within the auction house, in a quiet private room, two soldiers were present, one standing silently in armor by a seat, and the other engaged in intelligence gathering. Understood. Dismissed and be ready. The auction is about to start. Keep vigilant. Let no suspicious individuals slip by, the seated soldier ordered calmly. Yes, sir. The intelligence officer nodded respectfully and exited. The Yu clan, always so arrogant, the seated soldier muttered with a hint of disdain. This soldier was, in fact, a late 2-star Do Xian in service at the City Lord's Manor in Ghost King City. Although merely a soldier, he commanded great respect across the city, a figure known not only for his formidable strength but also for his indomitable spirit. Nobody knew the full story, but centuries ago, City Lord Wang Feng had arrived in Ghost King City with this man from elsewhere, bearing a high-ranking appointment from the upper echelon of the ferocious soul domain. Since then, both Wang Feng and this soldier had settled in the city, bringing peace and stability to the once troubled Ghost King City. Despite being capable of holding high office within the city, this soldier had remained a loyal subordinate to City Lord Wang Feng, never once seeking promotion or rewards, and simply served his lord with unwavering loyalty. Nonetheless, his strength alone, even as an ordinary soldier, commanded respect throughout the city. A late 2-star Do Xian soldier, such strength easily placed him among the top 5 in Ghost King City. At that moment, the auction venue in Ghost King City was bustling with an unprecedented crowd. Not only were the 3 major clans, the Yu clan, the Qing clan, and the Lei clan, present, but various other powerful factions had also arrived. As these formidable figures gathered, the auction commenced with grand anticipation. Organized by the City Lord's Manor, the auction venue was strategically located in the heart of Ghost King City. The impressive, elliptical building, though rarely used since its construction, held hundreds of luxurious private rooms inside, a testament to the City Lord's heavy emphasis on this event. As Xiao Yin and Qing Er reached the auction venue's main entrance, their view was blocked by a dense crowd. This auction is quite popular, Xiao Yin remarked, standing at the back of the line with Qing Er. Form a line in the back, one at a time. At the main gate, there were 2 entrances, one for the general public, where excited attendees eagerly queued in a long line, while 3 men with generals' insignias conducted thorough inspections. These generals were formidable, each a late 1-star Do Xian. Nearby, Xiao Yin spotted a soft-featured woman and a laid-back man. The woman wore a floral-patterned dress that accentuated her figure, emanating an elegant aura. The red-carpeted path on that side was reserved for VIPs, and hardly anyone passed through. VIP cardholders, please proceed this way, the woman announced in a silvery voice. Isn't that the top general of the City Lord's forces? How did she end up on door duty? Sure, keep it down. Don't let her hear you. Even though she's dressed in ordinary soldier's attire, her strength is on par with the City Lord's. She's a late 2-star Do Xian. If someone overheard and reported this, you'd be asking for trouble. The speaker elongated his tone at the mention of trouble. Amid the murmurs in the regular line, Xiao Yin and Qing Er headed toward the VIP passage. The Qing clan's eldest lady. As Qing Er and Xiao Yin approached, the soft-featured woman looked over and addressed them slowly. This woman held considerable status within the City Lord's Manor and possessed no small measure of strength herself, already reaching mid-1-star Do Xian. Yet, upon seeing Xiao Yin, she felt a certain depth, an impression she couldn't shake. Sister Li Qin, you're more beautiful every time I see you. Qing Er is becoming more and more spirited as she grows. The gentle woman smiled faintly at Qing Er. But this is... In the next moment, the gentle woman turned to Xiao Yin and asked, clearly sensing that the relationship between him and Qing Er was not simple, though Xiao Yan's face seemed unfamiliar to her. This is a guest of the Qing clan. Just then, a clear, hearty laugh echoed from the corridor. Qing Wanshu? Upon hearing this, Li Qin couldn't help but exclaim. Qing Wanshu was exceptionally talented. Though not the most powerful, he had already been chosen by the Qing clan to be the next clan leader. Therefore, anyone who was treated with such importance by Qing Wanshu could not be ordinary. Is that the young lady and young master of the Qing clan? Upon seeing this, the lazy soldier slightly opened his eyes and casually glanced at Xiao Yin. Whoosh! When the soldier glanced at him, Xiao Yin suddenly felt as if his Do Xian power was draining away, a feeling both alarming and terrifying. This guy's power is incredible, Xiao Yin muttered under his breath. The soldier seemed ordinary, but from Xiao Yan's estimation, his strength was likely on par with the leader of the Qing clan. Let's go. The auction is about to start. Qing Wanshu chuckled, then led Xiao Yan and Qing Er inside. Miss Li Qin, Lord Bai He, will be heading in first. As they were about to leave, Qing Wanshu called to the soldier and Li Qin. The soldier softly replied, "Let's go." With that, Xiao Yan and the others headed into the auction hall. This little guy is interesting. Watching Xiao Yan leave, the powerful soldier murmured to himself. This soldier, named Bai He, was a powerful figure at the late 2-star Do Xian level, the strongest under the city lord's command. We should go too. After noticing that no one else was passing by, Bai He said to Li Qin. Li Qin nodded slowly, then headed inside. The two people just now? Once they entered the auction hall, Xiao Yan couldn't help but ask, clearly feeling the immense pressure from the soldier. Those two were Li Qin and Lord Bai He, Qing Wanshu explained. Though Miss Li Qin has a stunning appearance, she's no delicate flower. At a young age, she has already become the steward of the city lord's mansion. As for Bai He, he serves directly under the city lord, and his strength is at the late 2-star Do Xian level. I see. Xiao Yan relaxed upon hearing this. Our private room is just ahead, let's go. Qing Wanshu led the way, guiding the two toward their reserved room. It was quite strange. The entire private room was sealed on 3 sides, but the front was open. This setup allowed those attending the auction to see each other. As Xiao Yan and the others entered the private room and met up with the Qing clan's leader, the atmosphere quieted. With Xiao Yan's vast soul power, he could sense the hidden auras of many powerful individuals throughout the hundreds of private rooms. These auras were far from ordinary, indicating that they were the strongest competitors in this auction. As more and more powerful figures gathered in the private rooms, forces from the Yu clan, Lei clan, and Ghost King City filled the place. Though the number of people was massive, there were few true buyers. After all, such precious treasures could only be acquired by those with substantial financial backing. Otherwise, it would all be for naught. The auction hall itself was elliptical, with hundreds of private rooms surrounding the central area where the actual auction took place. While the sound of discussions filled the air, a soft, milky white energy beam shot up from the center of the hall. Crack! The sound of machinery adjusting echoed, and soon, a crystal-clear auction platform slowly appeared before everyone's eyes. The milky white energy beam surrounding the platform lingered, clearly a protective measure to safeguard it. Finally, the show is about to begin. Seeing this, Xiao Yan's heart stirred with anticipation for the upcoming auction. Whoosh! As the energy beam flickered, 2 figures gradually emerged into the spotlight. The 2 figures were unmistakably a man and a woman. The man had a distinguished air about him, exuding the aura of a strong individual, while the woman was elegantly dressed, a true noble lady. City Lord Wang Feng and Li Qin? As the light faded, many in the private rooms gasped. Welcome, everyone, to this auction. The City Lord Wang Feng appeared in a blue robe, prompting a wave of murmurs from the crowd, but he ignored it and smiled at the hundreds of private rooms. From his robe emanated a calm yet powerful energy that slowly spread across the entire auction hall, enveloping it. He must be the City Lord of Ghost King City, right? Xiao Yan felt the intense aura and couldn't help but remark. Yes, this is indeed the City Lord, Qing Ming replied with a smile. Wang Feng, a perfect 2-star Do Xian. Perfect 2-star Do Xian? Xiao Yan was slightly taken aback upon hearing this, realizing that such a figure was beyond his current abilities to handle. The fact that he's shown up personally means he's serious about this auction. Otherwise, he wouldn't have come to keep these unruly folks in check, Qing Ming added. This auction is the grandest one Ghost King City has held in nearly 10 years. But before we start, I have a few words to say. This is Ghost King City. If anyone causes trouble here, no matter what powerful forces back them, I, Wang Feng, will make them wish they were dead. A hint of fierce energy appeared on Wang Feng's smiling face, and his voice slowly reached every ear in the hundreds of private rooms. This guy, isn't he a bit too arrogant? It's not arrogance. Didn't you sense his perfect 2-star Do Xian strength? Such a display is enough to deter anyone with ill intentions. As Wang Feng's words echoed through the hall, murmurs started in the private rooms, and soon, the commotion in the auction hall began to settle. Brother Xiao, here's the gold from the sale of your 3 pills, 20 million. All loaded onto an immortal crystal card. Qing Wenshu from the Qing clan pulled out an elegant purple crystal card and handed it to Xiao in the Qing clan's private room. Thank you, Brother Qing. Xiao accepted the immortal crystal card without ceremony, knowing he'd need the gold for upcoming bids. The immortal crystal card was a symbol of status, only available to those who had reached the level of Do Xian and could participate in auctions across regions. 3 Imperial-class heaven-rank second-grade pills selling for only 20 million gold was a bit surprising to Xiao. But he understood that this wasn't Do D continent, so it was understandable. On Do D continent, even a heaven-ranked Do skill could fetch hundreds of millions in value. In that case, let's begin. I, Wang Feng, will personally preside over this auction. Now, let's start with a little appetizer. Wang Feng glanced casually at the quiet private rooms and spoke slowly. An appetizer? I wonder what it could be. Let's hope it doesn't disappoint us. As Wang Feng's words fell, eager gazes shot from the private rooms toward the auction stage. Everyone, take a look. At that moment, Wang Feng stepped back a few paces, and Li Qin gracefully walked onto the stage, her hand rotating slightly as a pure white beam of light slowly rose from beneath the stage, appearing on display. Strange. Why is the undying nether sparrow feeling restless? Could something here be stirring its desire? Just then, Xiao sensed a surge of heat from the battle soul, temporarily sealed within him. Forget it. Let's see what this appetizer turns out to be. After a brief investigation that revealed nothing unusual, he couldn't understand why the undying nether sparrow was reacting so strongly. This is an immortal rank 4th grade pill? The moment the light faded on the auction stage, a delicate pill, about the size of a dragon's eye, appeared before everyone. An immortal rank 4th grade pill? Xiao emotions surged when he saw the pill. The Imperial class had 3 grades, and beyond that was the Immortal class, which reached 4th, 5th, and 6th grades. Xiao was currently at the peak of the 3rd grade Imperial class. To break through to the level of an Immortal class alchemist, his soul power would need to reach the Immortal realm and form a soul palace, a challenging feat without significant opportunities. This pill is known as the Immortal Spirit Pill, ranked at the peak of Imperial class Earth grade. As for its effects, I believe there's no need for further explanation. Li Qin's gaze swept over the audience. An Immortal Spirit Pill. My goodness, this is a treasure. The mention of the pill's name instantly stirred excitement in the crowd. The Immortal Spirit Pill, while only at the peak of Imperial class Earth grade, has astonishing effects. Although it has its drawbacks, such as being limited to 1 pill per month, meaning only 1 can be consumed per battle, this does not diminish its appeal in the slightest. Qing Ming took a deep breath, then exhaled and said, clearly fond of the Immortal Spirit Pill. Indeed, it's a great item. Xiao smiled slowly upon hearing this, clearly the very thing he needed most right now. His current strongest move was the Sacred Flame Fusion, which allowed him to kill opponents of a higher tier. However, using it would consume almost all of his Do Qi. With the Immortal Spirit Pill, he could restore up to 80% of his Do Qi in a crisis, and that 80% could be the key to determining victory or defeat. Enough talk. Miss Li Qin, please name your price. After a brief moment of excitement, shouts of anger echoed from the private rooms, clearly showing their determination to obtain this item. Since ancient times, pills that restore Do Qi have always been in high demand. Considering the high price of the Immortal Spirit Pill, only 5 pills will be auctioned, divided into 5 rounds. The starting price is 10 million gold coins, with a minimum raise of 1 million gold coins per bid. Please proceed, Li Qin said as the room fell silent for a moment, before the lively sounds of bidding filled the air, as she expertly stirred up the auction's atmosphere. 10 million gold coins? As soon as Li Qin finished speaking, the auction hall fell into an unusual silence. Clearly, 10 million gold coins was no small amount for them, and this was just the starting price. Who knew how high the price would go? Father, we must have this. If we obtain the Immortal Spirit Pill, even though you may not need it, it will certainly give us more confidence in the tasks the Yu clan has ahead, Yui said. Each private room was numbered. Qing clan's room was obviously number 3, Yu clan's was number 2, and the mysterious figure in black was in room number 1. In Yu clan's room, there were only 3 people, the clan leader, Yu Qian, Yu Yi, and a young attendant. We won't fight for this first pill. It's priced too high. Anyway, we still have 5 pills, no rush, Yu Qian said with a glance at the increasing bids, slowly smiling. Their real goal, of course, was the finale of the auction. Though the Immortal Spirit Pill was potent, it was clearly not their main focus. Father, what exactly is the grand finale of this auction? Yui looked around the room, sensing some faint, hidden energy that made him feel uneasy, unable to suppress his curiosity. The information about the auctioned items is highly confidential. Even I don't know much about it. However, one thing is clear. The final item could very well be related to the legendary Sacred Flame. Qing Ming's eyes narrowed slightly, and as he spoke the words, Sacred Flame, his gaze burned with excitement. His strength was now at the early stage of 3-star Do Xian. Although his true power was comparable to a perfect 2-star Do Xian due to his hidden illness, with the power of his battle soul, he felt he could match a true 3-star Do Xian. The Sacred Flame was the strongest flame in the world. If they could obtain even one of its flowers, not only would they have a stronghold in Ghost King City, but they would likely secure a place for the Yu clan in the entire eastern continent. The Sacred Flame, how could it be? Upon hearing this, Yu Yi's brow furrowed, clearly having heard of the Sacred Flame's legendary power. Don't rush. Let's focus on the auction for now. The Sacred Flame is a must-have, Qing Ming said, and the two fell silent, their attention now entirely on the Immortal Spirit Pill, which was rapidly being pushed to astronomical prices. In many other private rooms, the mood shifted from silence to excitement. After careful consideration, many seemed prepared to bid for the Immortal Spirit Pill, as, except for Yu Qian, the other experts in Ghost King City were all below the 3-star Do Xian level. The Immortal Spirit Pill was seen as a lifeline. I bid 13 million. A bold voice rang out from room 47. I bid 15 million. A sharp female voice quickly followed from room 50. 16 million. 17 million. The woman in room 50 is quite the patron, paying 19 million gold coins for the first Immortal Spirit Pill. Though it's hard to say whether that's a win or a loss, Xiao Yin remarked with a smile from room 3 as he watched the first pill successfully auctioned off. This initial Immortal Spirit Pill was undoubtedly the target of smaller factions, as the truly wealthy Qing, Yu, and Lei clans had yet to make a move. Once these affluent families entered the fray, the smaller bidders wouldn't stand a chance. The first Immortal Spirit Pill goes to the guest in room 50 for 19 million gold coins. Li Qin's elegant voice resonated through the auction hall as she gracefully raised her jade-like hand, bringing down a silver gavel on the auction platform, symbolizing the end of the first round. Now, let's begin the auction for the second pill. The remaining 5 Immortal Spirit Pills will be auctioned one by one, after which we'll proceed to the next item. The starting price for the second Immortal Spirit Pill is, again, 10 million gold coins. Please, place your bids. Li Qin's words seemed to stir up the crowd, and as soon as she finished, the entire hall erupted with renewed energy, especially from those who missed out on the first pill. 14 million. 15 million. 16 million. Within moments, 3 powerful figures in different rooms had already begun raising their bids. Any higher than 16 million? After these 3 bids, the auction hall quieted down somewhat, as most participants were saving their resources for the grand finale, and there were still 3 more Immortal Spirit Pills left. 17 million. Xiao Yin spoke up calmly, breaking the silence. The bidder who had offered 16 million frowned within his room. Seeing it was someone from room 3, he let it go. After all, that room belonged to the Qing clan. Going up against the Qing clan in Ghost King City would be a fool's errand for a minor power. Brother Xiao Yin is interested in the Immortal Spirit Pill as well? Qing Wanshu asked with a smile, noticing Xiao Yan's bid. This pill is exactly what I need to restore my Do Qi, Xiao Yin replied with a gentle smile, not bothering to conceal his interest. Any bids higher than 17 million? Li Qing's professional smile graced her face as she scanned the room. 18 million. In room 2, Yuyi's lips curved in a mocking smile. 19 million, Xiao Yin responded, his expression unfazed. Well, since the Qing clan is so generous, I'll leave this pill to you, Yuyi chuckled. Any higher than 19 million? Li Qing asked with a smile. With a light tap of the silver gavel on the platform, she announced that the second immortal spirit pill had been sold to Xiao Yin for a hefty 19 million. The third pill went to the Yu clan for 20 million gold coins, as they clearly intended to return Xiao Yan's previous favor. The fourth pill, however, was sold for 17 million coins, split between the Lei clan and the mysterious Room 1. Who exactly is in Room 1? Xiao Yan's curiosity led him to probe Room 1 with his soul power, but he found nothing. The auction hall had measures in place to block soul and do-qi detection, ensuring the safety of participants. With all 5 immortal spirit pills sold, we can now move on to some more intriguing items. Li Qing's beautiful gaze swept across the room, her soft words igniting the crowd's anticipation. What could the second item be? The eyes of the 100 or so private rooms were fixed intently on Li Qing as she stood on the platform. The next item is the second lot in today's auction. As silence filled the hall, Li Qing smiled and gently tapped the auction platform a few times. With each tap, mechanical sounds echoed, and the platform beneath her began to rise, bringing forth something hidden below. What a dazzling red glow! As the machinery stopped, a brilliantly red, radiant object emerged on the platform, shrouded in blinding crimson light, so intense that even the most powerful cultivators couldn't discern its true nature. The red light is so powerful that even my soul energy cannot penetrate it. Xiao Yin frowned as he had initially planned to use his soul energy to investigate, but it was clear that the powerful barrier designed to suppress souls had already been set up by the strong experts of the City Lord's Manor. Hee everyone, please take a look. This is the second item up for auction. At that moment, Wang Feng, who had been standing in the back, slowly stepped forward. His hands emitted a burst of silver Do-Xian power, instantly extinguishing the red light. However, the silver Do-Xian power then enveloped and protected the item, which appeared to be some sort of scroll. What is this thing? It looks like a scroll. A scroll? From the red light that just emanated from it, it must be of considerable value. Many of the powerful figures in the private rooms murmured quietly after the red light faded, revealing the red scroll, now protected by Wang Feng's Do-Xian power, lying quietly on the auction table. That thing on the auction table, it's so bloodthirsty. In room 3, Qing Er's face turned pale, clearly sensing something unusual. Bloodthirsty? Xiao Yin asked in confusion. He had felt no aura from the scroll as Wang Feng protected it, but Qing Er, with only the strength of Peak Do Di, was able to detect something unusual. This made Xiao Yin look at her with renewed respect. Wang Feng, City Lord, stop keeping us in suspense. What exactly is this item? Soon, voices from several of the private rooms became impatient. Please don't rush. This second item is a Do skill. Wang Feng smiled and stood beside Li Qing. As the City Lord has said, this is indeed a scroll. But it is no ordinary scroll. It is a sealed Do skill. Li Qing's soft voice rang out, and her words hit the crowd like thunder, stunning the hundreds of experts present. A sealed Do skill? The City Lord's Manor really does have a treasure trove. Such a rare item as a sealed Do skill is something they can afford to auction. If I obtain this, I might be able to compete with the top 3 families in Ghost King City. Dream on. The top 3 families are not some small power you can mess with. Whispers echoed throughout the private rooms. A sealed Do skill? Indeed, Wang Feng has quite a few good items in his hands. But I think the reason he's willing to part with this is likely to help the younger generation of Ghost King City make a name for themselves in the Eastern Continent's competition. That way, he can rise in status and wealth. After all, if he doesn't cultivate strong geniuses, Wang Feng will probably never escape the confines of Ghost King City. In room 1, a mysterious man in black muttered to himself. However, when he saw Xiao Yan's figure in room 3, he immediately became vigilant, sensing something unusual. That kid in room 3? Could he be an alchemist? Why does his soul energy feel strangely formidable? The mysterious man in black glanced at Xiao, then smiled. A sealed dose skill. Father. In room 2, Yuyi's voice was filled with urgency, clearly aware of the immense value of a sealed dose skill. The value of a sealed dose skill is limitless. But don't worry, such a precious item will fetch a high auction price. If we don't manage to obtain it, no matter who gets it in the end, it won't escape our Yu clan's grasp. Yu Qian spoke with complete confidence, as if victory were certain. A sealed dose skill? In room 3, Xiao muttered to himself, clearly intrigued by Li Qin's revelation, which sparked a noisy discussion. Brother Xiao, there's something you might not know. The classification of dose skills is rather diverse. There are attack and defense skills, as well as special scrolls used for spatial teleportation or one-time use skill scrolls. But none of these can compare to a sealed dose skill. Qing Wenshu smiled. Oh, why is that? Xiao asked, intrigued. Very simple. Because the value and potential of a sealed dose skill are limitless. Sealed dose skills don't have levels, but they become stronger in the face of stronger opponents. Qing Wenshu explained with a smile. Hee everyone. This sealed dose skill is called the Soul-Devouring Blood Monument. According to the City Lord's assessment, it was created by a powerful expert who reached the level of 3-star dose yin in their lifetime. Furthermore, the City Lord has conducted experiments, and this dose skill scroll remains in excellent condition, so you can all bid with confidence. I'm not afraid to tell you all that the City Lord once told me this sealed dose skill is capable of sealing someone 2 small levels stronger than the user. In other words, if you are a beginner 1-star dose yin and encounter a late 1-star dose yin, you can still use this sealed dose skill to seal them, unless you meet an outrageously talented genius. There's one crucial point, and I believe you all understand it well, the sealed dose skill, a technique with virtually limitless potential. Li Qin's voice flowed smoothly, her words stirring waves of shock among the powerful guests in the private rooms. Miss Li Qin, enough with the chatter. Let the auction begin, came a heated voice from one of the private rooms, directly cutting to the chase. Due to the extreme rarity and value of sealed dose skills, mere gold coins cannot begin to measure its worth. Therefore, the Soul-Devouring Blood Monument will be auctioned through a barter system this time. All you need to do is present your offers. The City Lord's Manor will select the bidder whose offer we find most satisfactory. So, let's begin.